The Hawks of Jack Lloyd with a treble. Have all the colour of a Group 1 for both trainer and jockey.
Look, attrition was obviously high on the odds, so there wasn't a whole lot of pressure going into that race. So the nerves were pretty calm. With not a lot of pressure, it made the day a lot better.
Ready, signal, and they're racing in the Toorak Handicap. Pride of Jenny jumped away well.
Yeah, it unfolded reasonably well. We wanted to go forward from a bit of a sticky draw, and probably the first half of the race we got 3 deep with a bit of cover, and I was wrapped with that position. And unfortunately, the one in front of me ended up taking off and putting way more speed into the race, so we sort of just got left out a little bit for the second half.
Savannah Cloud firing around them. Attrition follows it.
From the 700, the horse really tracked into the race underneath me. Going into a Group 1, when they travel in from the 700, it gets you a bit excited.
Pride of Jenny tried to get away before the corner. 3 lengths Savannah Cloud amenable. They were followed by Attrition.
I could see that he'd had a tough run throughout the race, and I could see that he'd hit the front a fair way out. As soon as Antino had gone past him, you seen him pin his ears back.
Antino on the outside. It's a big finish in the Toorak. Antino moves up to Attrition. Antino and Attrition, they hit the line. Attrition or Antino nearly a dead heat.
To my bloke's credit, he kicked back and he was tough and got his nose back in front for me.
It's a photo and Attrition kicks and wins.
It was literally probably 50 metres after Ben Allen looked over and he's like, "Did you get it?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not sure." I was pretty certain he kicked back and got it, but I didn't want to jinx myself at that point, just in case.
Yeah, that just big outburst of emotion and joy.
A lot of work to get to that point, and to finally get it done, it was surreal.
You have a bad day or a bad morning or things don't go your way, a quick little replay of that reminds you of what you've done and certainly puts a smile on your face.
That's what it's all about, Group 1 racing. The Toorak was run on the very same day as the CAULFIELD Guineas, the very first one, October the 13th, 1881. They go back all that way, and for both of them, it's the 146th running. Let's hear from Matt Laurie, the trainer. He's running the Underwood. I think he's probably best at this trip. He ran well at Moonee Valley, won the So You Think there. I think he's in good form. He's a big odds. He's got a lot of weight, and he's obviously up against a talented group of younger horses, but I wouldn't completely discount him. The same with Pinstripe. Now, he's a Group 1 winner. We know that. That was of the Memsey here last year. He's run in this race twice before. He was 6th in 2022 and 5th in 2023. He's going to run, I think, a pretty honest race. Enver's happy with where he's got him at the moment. And then to the first of the 4-year-olds, a bit of CAULFIELD Guineas form from last year here, James.
He does, and the Hayes boys have gone with the Norton bit on here in the Group 1. He's got 50. Look, I'd say he's meeting Transatlantic and Athanatos a kilo worse at the weights for beating them last time at Sandown, but he's got a superb record at 1,600 metres with 3 wins and a third in the CAULFIELD Guineas, so he should get a good run following Lazura everywhere she goes. Ferocious,
much longer odds, and yet, his CAULFIELD Guineas run was terrific. He's won an Australian Guineas. He's a high-class animal, I think, and he was 3rd in the Rupert Clark, so there's been some good support for him, and we can see why. So, again, these 4-year-olds, James, are to the fore, and this is great to see these progressive horses, and probably the most progressive is Fly there, Craig McRae there, as Dom Sutton talks on with Billy Egan, the jockey. Seeples is probably the most progressive of all. He's only had the 7 starts for 5, and he's a Group 1 winner of the Rupert Clark.
Yeah, he spent 4 days at the farm with Steve Jenkins. Cliff Brown said he knew he'd had a run, but after going up 5 kilos for winning the Rupert Clark, he's going to have to really improve, and yet he's drawn a much better barrier to be able to get run of the race stuff from there. You want to see him use his draw perhaps a bit better than he did in the Australian Guineas the other time he went up to 1,600 metres and was beaten out of the placings.
Tony Gollan won the race famously with Antino last year. This is a good horse. He's a really rock solid. He's a 5-year-old. He's been pretty lightly raced. He ran okay in a Stradbroke. He ran very well in the Sandown Stakes, beaten narrowly by Seeples. If you give Seeples a chance, you just have to give Transatlantic, who meets him a kilo better, a big chance. Chris Waller's got a big hand with some mares, and we start with Lazura here.
Yeah, I can recall More Joyous working hard up the hill to win this event as a mare with 58 kilos, but Lazura should just get a perfect run here in an evenly run race. I think she's got very good, solid Group 2 form, and they've been patient with her. This is a real chance for her in a Group 1 handicap today. Look at the fillies record who've won the Far Lap in the past.
Yeah, incredible. Like a Lucy, I think she's a class horse. She came from a mile back in the Let's Elope. She was terrific. She's a New Zealand Oaks winner. She ran very well behind Treasure at the moment in the Oaks in Sydney. Damask Rose has won a heap of money. She's won the Karaka and also the Kiwi over in New Zealand. Not bad in the Rupert Clark and okay in the Cochrane. So in the market around about that $14, $15 mark, and then Philip Stokes, who's been there and done it in this race before with Athanatos.
Yeah, he might be a little bit of a blowout, this horse. He's look, he's a bit of a mile specialist. He's 2 out of 3 over 1600. He's only lost to Benegill in a Vobis Guineas, and she subsequently won the Australasian Oaks. Should get a perfect run from barrier 1, and with his great prep, Craig Williams, 52 kilos, has a bit of a familiar ring to it.
Some chicks there. Let's go back to you, Matt, from Sportsbet for the market mover for the Toorak.
Bruce, our sharpest punters have been all over Seeples his past couple of starts, and they think he can go back-to-back with Group 1 victories. He's into $2.35 with Sportsbet.
Mark will give you a bit of a heads up on what he's going to do.
Yeah, so obviously from the barrier, we've got to be pretty positive, I think, and the way the track's racing as well. So hopefully the begins like he always does, and yeah, we've got to be aggressive because there's sort of like, I mean, you've got Seeples, Desert Light, there's a few that'll just try and kick up. So I think we've got to be pretty aggressive the first bit, come back to us, get a breather, and then hopefully we've got something left in the tank for the last bit.
You reckon fair enough.
We hope not.
I think when we start trying to work out what he's going to do, we're in
Dom
trouble.
Sutton joins us, the trainer of Feroce. Dom, runner-up in a CAULFIELD Guineas, so CAULFIELD 1,600 metres. You get the tick here. Can you win the Toorak?
Yeah, 12 months ago.
Now going forward, and that's the challenge for the jockeys. But most people are going to want to be forward, aren't they?
Yeah, and this race has got a genuine pace ascribed to it on paper. I mean, you've got horses like Transatlantic, Sepples. You're hearing jockeys just sensing that it's important to press the button from the draw. So I'd say, you know, compared to some of the other races we've seen so far, like particularly the Might and Power, I mean, the Globe just did no work at all. These horses will have to do a bit from the draw, so perhaps they should just let it unfold a little bit more than worry too much about the track at this stage. And that might be your man there, Blake Shin, because he sort of let it unfold in the 2 Group 1s he's won this season on Charmstone and Globe. He might be the man for the moment here.
Lizzie, how do you see this unfolding?
Well, it's interesting the thoughts of yourself and James, whether they're potentially going to overdo it, especially with the track being upgraded earlier on, this mile. We saw the previous race. A lot of those aspects would be going through these jockeys' heads, Katie.
Yeah, definitely. Especially it just elevates all the anxiety for being a Group 1. I'm with Seppels here. He's just such a winner. He's drawn well. He hasn't been drawing good barriers, and what he did in the Rupert Clark was unbelievable. There's one query though. Did he do too much, and is he going to be a race a little bit more on the flat side today? But we'll see.
Who would you like to be training, James, if you had one of them?
I think I'd like to be preparing Evaporate.
Okay, Evaporate. Change of gear, you mentioned?
Yeah, the horse was a little bit strong by some reports at Sandown. Blake made that mid-race move. Perhaps he felt he needed to, but the Norton bit goes on, and the boys at Lindsay Park know what they're doing.
Let's go to Matt Hill for his call of the 146th running of the Toorak.
There's some 2 minutes past starting time, and as that happens, the world pool just continues to build. We're up to 1.1 million now on this time-honoured race, the Toorak Handicap. The 145th running of this race. Transatlantic goes in. Seeples about to come up rideless. Seeples now joins the line. Lazura pretty relaxed out behind the stalls, and Like a Lucy, they're going to be the final 2 to load away. So here is Lazura. Lazura with J-Mac. Takes up its position, and Like a Lucy is the final one. Field set for the iconic Toorak Handicap. Set to go, and they're racing. Damascus from barrier number 3, jump with them, drifts out. Transatlantic looking to cross Seeples in the first 100 metres. Feroce from the deep improving, followed by Athanatos holding its place on the rails, and also pushing up in between horses is Lazura to get in towards the top 4. As they climb the hill at the 1200, Transatlantic is the leader. From Feroce second, Athanatos behind them, and Lazura one off the fence. Seeples met a bit of trouble there, 2 lengths away in 5th place, followed by Damascus as they run off the back section. Further back in the field, out 3 wide, is Desert Lightning, a length and 3/4 pinstriped. Evaporate Like a Lucy last. 900 metres to go, and the front runner Transatlantic by a half length. Feroce. Athanatos trying to get away from the rails. A length and a half Lazura. Damascus next on the inside. Desert Lightning deeper, a length away to Seeples, who's drifted back to 4th last with Evaporate, followed by Pinstriped, and last Like a Lucy. Transatlantic the front runner. 550 metres to go with Feroce 3/4 of a length away. A length and a quarter, Athanatos, followed by Desert Lightning, who's starting to slide into it. Followed then by Lazura under hands and heels before the corner. Evaporate to the outsiders running on. Sepals has gone back to third last. Transatlantic at the 300 metres, a length Feroce. Evaporate the outside. Satellite, Desert Lightning boxes on from Athanatos. Transatlantic with 150 metres to go. Evaporate's wearing it down like a Lucy from nowhere. Transatlantic will Evaporate the outside. Transatlantic and Evaporate, they go to the line. Transatlantic just beat Evaporate like a Lucy, then Athanatos. Behind those horses then Damask Rose, followed by Lazura, Feroce, Desert Lightning, Pinstripe and Sepals.
The Toorak. Well, that Sandown Stakes form has absolutely lived up to everything. Tony Gollan gets consecutive Tooraks. That's huge for Tony. I mean, we know that what he's done in Queensland's been remarkable. We know that he's got an Australian-wide reputation, but this is big stuff for him.
Absolutely, and his jockey Mark Zara was determined from the draw, wasn't he? He really asked Transatlantic to go forward. He did not want to surrender the opportunity to lead on the rail. And look at the second horse. Evaporate's come from second last in the run. That's a huge effort. Likewise, Like a Lucy was excellent late. So look, a closely fought out edition of the Toorak. Maybe just that turn in the weights has made a bit of a difference coming from that Sandown race.
And Sepals just got into the wrong spot. He got a check or two. And let's go down to you, Richo. You're with Tony.
Tone, back-to-back Tooraks, congratulations. And there's so many emotional people around you. What is going through your mind? Well done.
Oh, look, I've had one of those preparations where I've been beaten, I think, 0.1, but I never really worried. It's always the plan to be here today. I think those defeats got him in here at the right weight. Mark executed his plan beautifully, you know. He wanted to be aggressive that first 100, negate that barrier. And that's what he did, and that was the winning tactic. Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, what a ride. You saw it last year in this race for you. A totally different ride from Blake, but once again, a wonderful ride. Oh, look, you know, Zara is a genius, isn't he, you know? He had a plan, we had a fit horse, we got him the right weight, and Mark did the rest, you know. Horse and jockey, great combo, and just great to be back here at Caulfield training Group 1 winners. And what about the owners, mate? We've seen some really excited owners. There's tears everywhere. Yeah, it's a mixed bunch. We bought him as a yearling, made some ownership changes in along the way, and it's just terrific, you know. Kevin Maloney's crew were in right from the start. So we've had a bunch in him and out of him, and it's just a great story, really. He's been a nice horse from the get-go, and to win a Group 1 with him is just a great result. What a month for you. Queensland Hall of Fame, and now another Group 1. You deserve that, mate. Well done. Yeah, thanks. There's something in the water in Brisbane at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but it's a pretty good place to be. Queenslander. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark's actually having a bit of trouble here holding him up. He's ready to go round again. This horse has pulled up enormously. That was a lovely, bold front-running ride, Mark.
Yeah, sort of went out the gates. He was very quick out, which allowed me to get to the front, and then just had him where he wanted to be, and he gave a good kick off the corner, and he's used to seeing Evaporate's big head, and this time he was able to sort of be on the other side of the photo. It was a good win. Well done to Tony.
Were you pretty confident down the straight there?
I knew I had a really nice time in front, and when I kicked, I knew I kicked good, and he thinks a bit, and I switched to the left, and I was hoping I wouldn't see anyone coming at me late, and then I knew it was Evaporate, didn't even have to look, and showed good fight the last 50 to dig in and win.
Another great Group 1 victory. Well done, Mark.
Cheers, thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Come on, Tony! Come on, Tony! Yes! 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 Yes!
They could have all played for the Broncos, I reckon, those three guys. Katie, he was positive from the start, Zara, wasn't he?
He was, but didn't he come out like a rocket? He knew exactly what he wanted to do. Now, that's jockey initiative right there. He just made his mind straight up, went forward, found his position. Now, let's just watch on the outside. It was obviously Sepals and Ethan Brown trying to get a spot. So was James McDonald. But we saw Feroce and Billy Egan just on the outside. They were all trying to come across, all trying to find the exact same spot. And it just unfortunately ended up for Ethan Brown that he got shuffled right back. To be honest, I don't think it would have made much of a difference because when he eventually did get out, he actually didn't find the line. So it didn't work out for him today. But all honours to Mark Zara. That was a great ride.
Yeah, he won it from the gates, didn't he? He was able to take initiative, as you just referenced, and that was the telling tale in the end. Bruce?
It was. I mean, just that kilo difference. I mean, Evaporate, you talked about the fact they changed their gear. He's run up. Now, Evaporate's about to make his move here, James. He's fourth from the back. Sepal's inside, as Katie and Lizzie said. He's been struggling at the moment. Like a Lucy gets onto the back sort of now of Evaporate, and they now start to get into the race, don't they?
Yes, I think that Evaporate was advantaged by having a horse take him into the race, and there was enough pressure in this race considering that second and third have both come from second last and last in the run. But Transatlantic, to his credit, he was very, very strong late. Met the second horse a kilo better for losing to him at Sandown. That did make the difference, and that is why we do enjoy racing in these big Group 1 handicaps.
I absolutely love them. What a crowning moment, a son of Snitzel there with the Group 1. Group 1's continue.
So the son of the Autumn son called Autumn Boy with a gun ride, sure helped by an inside barrier, but Damien Lane got out at the right time and just accelerated away like a proper colt and gives Chris Waller a little headache. Do you go towards a Cox Plate when there's only maybe 6 runners in it? He doesn't normally do it with a 3-year-old. He might do it with this one.
He's thinking, and what about Blake Shin on Globe, Katie?
Awesome, wasn't he? And sometimes you just forget about the leader, and that's what they did here, Treasure the Moment and Buckaroo, and he was off and gone. A tremendous ride from Blake Shin, rode with confidence, and he loved every bit of it, and so did those owners. It's a big night tonight, no doubt, for the connections of Globe. Bruce?
Oh, look at the celebrations, Macca. Michael Kent right in the middle of it all with all his mates, and importantly, his wife was in the ownership. This was another good ride, wasn't it?
Brilliant in the Toorak. So it was Zara, Shin and Lane, 8 of the 4 in Melbourne in the Group 1s. Just hanging on, Transatlantic, for Tony Gollan to bring up that second Toorak to go with the one last year. So that was outstanding. And then Tony, as I said, they could have played for the Wallabies or the Broncos, those blokes. Zara picked it oh so well. And the Hill Stakes, well, Nash did something similar, didn't he?
He certainly did, Katie. This was a brilliant ride by Nash, just dictating in front with a horse who loves it.
Yeah, he didn't get there straight away like he likes to do, but Nash just got him there out of his own accord in a beautiful rhythm, and he gets a really well-deserved victory in the Hill Stakes. He's a gorgeous horse, and what a connection that he has with him as he gets a pat down. And tell you what, Bruce and Richo, must have been hard to try and give the votes today.
It was tough, but I decided to phone a friend. Macca, you're in the hot seat.
Well, I've gone for Chris Waller. I mean, mainly because of this, and Lindemann, but why not? I mean, to produce the colt like he did. I thought Shin's ride on Globe was the highlight of the day in terms of a ride. And Clayton Douglas, a little bit from the heart there, but to do what he did with Giga Kick. So they're the 3, 2 and 1. So as we look to the final event here, this is what's happened so far at Caulfield today. And you'll see the great horses with the trainers, and also a big, look at those jockeys.
Australia's greatest race day is on Channel 7.
On the one day, you have 2 of, I think, a handful of the most important and famous races in this country, in harmony with one another.
The fastest horses in the land compete in the Everest.
Think about it! Think about it, won the Everest!
And then you've got the best stayers in the land going down to compete in the handicap, the Caulfield Cup.
We won a fight for the Caulfield Cup!
Our best day in Australian racing. It is epic. That's nirvana.
2 races that are so different, one full of history and full of that tradition and part of that Melbourne spring.
The big field lining up in the Caulfield Cup and the testing 1.5 miles.
And the other brash and new and so Sydney.
The build-up towards the Everest is extraordinary.
It's a really sexy event.
Everest has got a voice of its own.
We celebrate speed.
1,200 metres, fast, dash for cash.
Weight for age for $20 million.
It's a great combination. What a cocktail it is.
Get the popcorn out.